Hi, and welcome to the information video about the IST Year 9 Authoring and Multimedia assignment. So you should have been shared the assignment in Google Drive. It would have been DocBus to you, so it should be in your IST folder. It should also be in another folder for you to place all your documents in. So anytime you need to create something for this assignment and it's not a Google document, or even if it is, you need to make sure to place all your files into the folder that's been shared with you. If you've got troubles with this, please see your teacher for confirmation. So here's details of the assignment. Teachers are here, coordinator is here, authoring and multimedia project is here as the title. Okay, really important you adhere to the due date. Okay, the assignment does not need anything handed in. So it will be marked from Google Drive. You don't need to do anything. You'll be locked out of your assignment on this due date here. So you need to make sure that your assignment is completed before that date. No extensions will be given. Okay, the weighting is here and the outcomes are here. Okay, important part here about the declaration. Okay, by handing in this assignment or by attempting this assignment, you declare that everything you do is your own work. Okay, and that's to the best of your knowledge. It contains no material previously published or written by another person or yourself, or material which to a substantial extent has been accepted for another assessment task except where due acknowledgement has been made. Okay, so you need to understand that you copy anything, you plagiarize anything, or you use something, even if you've made it, that you've used another assignment, that's not on. Okay, and we've got the right to penalize you for that to the extent of giving you 0 for the task. So you need to make sure that you do that. So, what do you have to do? Okay, this term we focus on learning how to use Flash for Adobe CS5. For this assignment, you're required to create a 60-second animation using Flash on the theme below. You'll need to use a range of tools and functions that you have learned in class to create the animation. Okay, don't worry about this section here. The final animation must be appropriate to be viewed at school by other students and teachers. Your final animation must be accompanied by written documentation. You must complete your animation in the one folder with all resources being placed in this one folder. This folder will then be uploaded for submission. You'll also be required to export your file as an SWF for marking. So when you use Flash, you are going to make a Flash file obviously, but any images that you use, any music that you use, when you add them to your Flash animation, they first must be placed into a folder. Okay, it doesn't matter what folder it is, but you need to make sure you put everything into that one folder. That way, when things are linked, they won't become unlinked when you move them. Okay. For marking, you need to upload that folder that you've used to put all your Flash things in up to Google Drive into the folder that we've supplied, which has all your other documents in it, such as this assignment. Really key here that every bit that you do is completed in this document or linked to this document, and the sections of the assignment will make that quite clear to you. Okay. You need to design a storyline, develop a 60-second animation using storyboarding and Flash CS5. The theme of your animation is Reach for the Stars. It's up to you how you interpret that. You can interpret it any way you wish. As long as your theme has some relation to that, you're fine. Okay. Be prepared to explain it if it's a bit out there and a bit not quite exactly Reach for the Stars. But as I said, if there's any relation to it, then you're fine. All right. You won't lose marks for going over 6 seconds. However, anything after 6 seconds will not be marked. You'll be penalized if your animation is too short. The most important issue is that of copyright. Okay, we hit copyright in the last assignment. You need to make sure that you follow copyright for this one as well. Okay, you must own the copyright for all material, being able to prove that this is your own work, or receive written permission from the copyright holder to use copyrighted material, or otherwise prove that you have permission to use the material. This will largely affect use of video, pictures, and music. We'll talk about that a bit later. So, here's a really important thing on how to share or link in this assessment, okay? You'll be given a folder to place all your documentation in. You need to put everything in there, okay? And the folder won't be looked at unless we need to, but it helps us with sharing and permissions and things like that. If you want us to mark something, you need to link it in this document, okay? And so how do we do that? We go to the sharing menu, either by clicking share up here, or by clicking right-clicking the document in Google Drive and clicking share. When you do that, you'll get this box here. All right. So it says share with others. You need to click this button here that says get shareable link. Okay. And when you do that, you'll get the following box here. Okay. It says that link is copied to the clipboard. Link sharing is on. So it changes your document so that anyone with the link can view your document, which is really important because when your teachers mark it, we don't want to have to get a screen that says we don't have permission to look at things. All right. So this will automatically copy the link to the clipboard. So all you need to do is down here, paste it to Command V wherever you want it. Okay. So you go click the box where you need to place the link. Command V will paste the link for you, just like you would if you copied and pasted text from somewhere else. The last important point to make our jobs a lot easier, highlight the link you've pasted and then click the link button. Link button's just here. So when you click that link button, it automatically changes your text link into a link that's clickable, which will enable us to mark your assignments quicker and annoy us a lot less. All right, Gantt chart. So the first thing you need to do is make a Gantt chart. For 5 marks, you need to develop a detailed Gantt chart covering all tasks of the project, dividing all tasks into subtasks. So you need to make a Gantt chart and stick it here. You can do this in the document if you wish, but Gantt charts tend to be quite long, especially if you're aiming for number 5. So you may find it's a lot easier to do this in a spreadsheet. You can use Gantt as well. If you use Gantt, can I suggest that you place a screenshot of your task in here as well? Because sometimes we have issues with accessing Gantt documents. So place a screenshot, we can zoom in to see it if we need to. If we need more detail, we can click the link and visit your Gantt site. Similarly with a spreadsheet, put a screenshot in and put a link to it so we can see it in the original form if we need to. Okay. Second thing is the summary of project and target audience. So for 5 marks, you need to develop an extensive summary of the project, describe the target audience, and explain in detail the features that will be used to cater to this audience. So what you're being asked to do here is you need to summarize your project, explain exactly what you're going to do. You also need to describe the target audience and explain in detail the features that you will use to cater to this audience and complete in the box below. Notice the box is quite large. Okay, you don't need to fill the box if you don't want to, but this is an indication of how important this section is. You're basically explaining who the target audience is, so who you're aiming your animation at, and you're explaining in detail what features in your animation will help you cater to that target audience. So what are the target audience like, and how are you going to put that in your animation so that they like your animation? Storyboard. Okay, so you have a template provided here. I'm going to click that box there. Okay, and this will take you to this file here. Okay, you need to do your storyboard in this file. You'll need to print it out, and you'll need to draw your storyboard on the piece of paper, and then you'll need to scan it back and send it back to us. Okay, so if I go back to the assignment, okay, you don't have to use all the boxes in the template. If I look at the template, you can see that I have a large amount of boxes. Okay, you don't have to use them all, or the other way around, you may need to use more. Okay, so you can add more boxes if you want to. Important that each changing camera angle or scene will require a new box. So if you're doing something with a lot of camera changes, 5 seconds could be 20 boxes. If you're doing something that doesn't require a lot of camera angles, you may only need 4 boxes. You're not being marked on the number of boxes you have, you're being marked on how the number of boxes you have relates to what you're trying to portray. If you don't have enough detail in your storyboard, then that's where you're going to lose marks. So you'll need to print the template out, complete your storyboard on paper, scan the storyboard, and place it here, and place both screenshots and a link to a PDF version here. Okay. Moving to the template, we can see that we have a working title. So what do you want to call your animation? We have actors. Okay, so you need to call your things something, even if in your animation they don't actually have a name. Okay. So just give them an identifier so that when you write down the info here, we know exactly who you're talking about. In each scene, you need to record the duration in seconds. So how long do you want each scene to last? And you need to write down where it's set and what is happening. So you give us textual information so we can know exactly what's happening in each scene. Okay. Up here in the pictures, we don't want you to draw stick figures. Okay. Doesn't matter if you can't draw, you'll be able to draw something better than stick figures. We want to be able to see everything that's happening in a scene without reading this. This is just to clarify, but if you've done your storyboards properly, we can tell exactly from looking at the picture exactly what's happening. Okay? So, moving on. Use of media. For 10 marks, sorry. You need to have a large range of media used. Media is of a high quality and appropriate for the project's topic and target audience. The media content must be appropriate for a school project. And really importantly here for copyright, You need to have proof supplied of your adherence to copyright laws through either obtaining the correct permission to use content and then adhering to the conditions of use, or through creating content and presenting evidence of this process. Any media not used legally will not be considered for marking. It's really easy to lose a lot of marks here if you don't provide evidence that you have the right to use something. Okay, so in this assignment, you'll likely be making a lot of media yourself. In Flash, you can draw a lot of backgrounds and characters and so on. So you need to show us that you have made those. Okay, evidence. Okay, screenshots, etc. You may need more than one piece of evidence to demonstrate that. Okay, what we need is the name, and again, this is just an identifier for us and for you, so it doesn't actually have to be the actual name of something, but it needs to be a really good name that we can use so we know what it is. The timing, you need to record the time that it appears in your animation. Okay, so it might appear at the 20-second mark or the 25-second mark, something like that. So when we go looking in your animation, we know where to look. Briefly describe what it is. Okay, so it's a picture of a tree, for instance, and then the evidence that either you have the right to use it. So this could be a couple of things, like a screenshot of an email that the rights holder sent you, a screenshot of a license, etc. So you might have a number of screenshots here. Or this could be screenshots of you making the particular piece of media. Okay. Now, obviously, we've given you 3 boxes here. You'll need quite a few more. So all you need to do is click at the end of a row and hit Tab, or you can right-click and insert row. Okay. So you'll need to have a box for each piece of media, and considering this is an animation assignment and you have a lot of time to make media or use media, this will probably be quite long. Okay, don't worry about going over pages, just make sure to get all the information in these boxes. Moving on, we have features. Okay, so for 10 marks, you need to have a high use of features of your editing program. Use of features increases engagement with the project. The features are high quality and appropriate to the topic and target audience. The use of advanced features such as boning and onion skinning, and the use of other products to create and edit media. Okay, so you need to show us where you've used these features, because these are the features we're looking for. You don't need to use every feature, but a high use of features will require more marks. Will earn you more marks. Notice as well, the key thing here is that the use of features increases engagement with the project. So don't just use features because you can. They actually need to add something to your animation. Okay, so what you do, again, you outline, you specify the time at which you've used the feature, and you describe how you used it. You might use a number of these features multiple times, so you can write those in the boxes. This just helps us a lot when we go to mark your assignment, because oftentimes you might have used a feature and it's not apparent that you've used that feature when we mark your assignment. Moving on, again, we'll have a peer review. So here is the marking criteria that your peers will use to mark you. We'll collect all the marks from all your peers. Every student will be required to mark every video. Okay, and those marks will be added and averaged to determine a group score. All right, determine an individual score. You also need to make sure that you mark properly, because if you don't mark a video here properly, then we may remove the marks from your peer review, so that you get penalized. So you need to make sure you mark exactly to this criteria. Okay, and since this is the marking section, this is where you'll provide a link to your animation. Okay, so you need to make sure you provide a link, upload to Google Drive, and a link to the folder as well. Moving on, we have evaluation, adherence, and design brief. So you're going to evaluate your assignment, and you're going to extensively and honestly evaluate your project in terms of how well the terms of the design brief were met, and you're going to provide extensive evidence. Okay, so here I'm not too concerned with how good your animation is, whether it was fantastic or whether it wasn't. Okay, what I'm concerned with is whether you honestly evaluate it. So you can get full marks here if you say your assignment was fantastic. Similarly, you can get full marks here if you say your assignment was rubbish. Okay, what's key is that you evaluate how well you met the requirements of the design brief. So right at the front of the assignment, we outline some requirements. You need to say, I met these requirements by doing this, and because I did this, my video was good because it met the requirements, or it wasn't good because it didn't meet the requirements. Then you need to look at problems and solutions. So describe in detail a number of problems that were encountered and their solutions. Provides links to YouTube, websites, manuals, etc. that provide the solutions to your problems. So here you need to outline all the problems you encountered and the solutions that you worked out or found, and outline these below. If you write nothing because you said that you didn't have problems, you're kidding. All right. Everyone will have problems because you're doing an activity that is brand new to you. So you need to show us evidence of your problem solving process. All right. Maybe you looked at YouTube for some solutions. Maybe you looked at the manuals we've given you. Maybe you looked at the online help in Flash. Maybe you asked your mate or your teacher or so on. Okay. You need to outline exactly the process that you did. You start by stating the problem. Then you state how you worked out or found the solution, and you supply evidence to back that up. Okay. So, I had a problem where I couldn't do onion skinning. So I looked up on YouTube, found this video. Paste the link to the video. That's your evidence. You need to do that for a large number of problems because that's what number 5 asks for. Okay. The less problems you write down and the less solutions you record, the lower the marks you're going to be. Last section is people. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to complete all aspects of the section, extensively describe why the job is suitable for you or not. So in this section, you performed the roles of many employed in the multimedia industry, such as graphics designers, animators, sound editors, etc. You are to choose one role from the multimedia industry that you have performed in the completion of this project and are interested in learning more about, maybe for a future career. And then through using seek.com.au or a similar site, complete the following. Okay. So you need to write the job title, the job description, the qualifications required, the experience required, the salary range of this job in particular, and a link to the job ad. All of this is copied and pasted from the job ad, so there aren't any marks attached apart from the fact that you have to complete all aspects. Where the marks are differentiated are in this bottom section here. Would you consider this job a good job for you? What attracts you to this particular job, or what tells you this job is not for you? So this is where you analyze the job description and the other elements up here, okay? And you say, you know what, this job's a good job for me because it fits me really well. I'm like this, and this job asks for this. Or, you know what, this job isn't for me. I was looking for I thought this job was something different than it actually is, okay? But you need to explain in detail and make links to the job ad in particular. So don't just write, oh, it pays poorly. Okay, so you could say something like, in the job ad, the salary range was $45,000 to $50,000. For this particular role, I would be expecting a larger amount of money, so this particular job is not for me. Okay, that's one thing you could write, but obviously you would need to explain quite a few things for this job to get you the full marks. Okay, so that's the assignment. Make sure everything is completed in the sheet or linked to in this sheet. Make sure if you have any issues to email your teacher or to book a meeting with your teacher or talk with them in class. And hopefully you have fun with the assignment. Thank you.